Video games, video games. I like to collect video games. Video games, video games. I like to collect video games.
Hey guys, Figsy here, and please welcome Ricky to the channel. Hey Ricky.
Hey guys, hey Figsy, what's up?
Not much yourself, man?
Yeah, I'm chilling, doing good, thanks.
So we have some very interesting news regarding PS3 games. In particular, the two most expensive North American PlayStation 3 games.
Oh,
So
yeah.
of course, we are talking about Siberia and Painkiller. And they are what I believe the most expensive two North American games are. Correct, Ricky?
Yep, so they're the first and second. I think I want to personally say Siberia is rarer. Also, it's obviously more expensive than Painkiller, but basically the top two is Siberia, then Painkiller.
So what we've got this video for you guys is, if you've obviously seen the thumbnail, we've got some information to bring to you guys. Now, we're not proving any points or anything. We're not accusing anyone of saying anything. We just want to get the information out to you guys, so people, especially collectors who are potentially looking at buying these games for their collection, are aware that there may, or what we believe there are, in fact, reprints of these two games on the market.
Yeah, so very, very interesting. A couple of days ago, I was in a Whatnot auction. The seller had a sealed Painkiller, a sealed Siberia, and the third one is a sealed Arcania. Arcania, the Complete Tale. All three were printed at various points in time by, I want to say it was Nordic Games.
Nordic Games, correct.
Nordic, okay. Actually, I should probably pull up my spreadsheets and all that. But anyway, all three were printed by Nordic Games. And he had all three of them sealed. So I was like, oh, all right, I'm going to see how much they go for. He put up Siberia first. I looked at it. My heart skipped a beat because I was like, wait, hold on, that looks different than the one I have. So I bid on it. I won. I'm not going to say how much it was. But
so we'll get a quick photo up. So this is the original copy of Siberia. This is what came out in 2014, 15, 16, somewhere around that
somewhere
time.
around there.
So the copy that showed up on Whatnot looks like this.
So the difference, if it doesn't jump out at you guys right away, is the THQ Nordic in the bottom right. That has been added. So that's the original with only the Adventure Company as a Nordic Games division on the front there. And then the reprint still keeps the Adventure Company name, but it also has the THQ Nordic name. Based on my research, again, this is only a couple of days old, but THQ Nordic, that specific logo started in 2016. However, Figsy, I don't know if you want to bring up one of the images showing the new PS3 case style. But essentially, that image right there, that is the new, quote unquote, new PS3 case style. So I'll actually pull it up right here. So we have, just as a sample here, FIFA 19. If you ever see this square notch here in the middle where you open the case, you know, that is a dual disc case, even though it's a single disc game. What my understanding is, the original PS3 cases, they are no longer in print. The company probably no longer is printing them. This is
an original PS3 case on the screen.
So yeah, the original ones, they're made under license from Du Bois. I also found out they also do the PS4 and PS5 cases. So probably what happened is, I want to say probably 2018, 2019.
18, 19, around that time.
Somewhere around there. They stopped manufacturing the original PS3 cases. And that company, Mare, if you want to pull that one back up, Figsy, they're the ones that specifically do these double case ones. Ever since the first double case game, probably I think back in 2010, 2011, something like that. They still print the dual disc PS3 cases. Since there's no other standard PS3 cases laying around, there's no extra stock. that's probably why we have single disc games that are now in these dual disc cases. Also, as another side note, they do not have the second disc tray, but they have the like holders for it.
Yeah, so you guys can check your own collections. Like if you have any PS3 games, a limited run Oddworld games, for example, they only have one disc, but they've got the case slot for the second case. So we're under the impression that the warehouse ran out of these older companies' cases and started only using these ones from 2018-19, which leads us to the point that these Siberia, and we will get to Painkiller as well, cases are the new PS3 cases, which were only introduced in 2018-19. And what's interesting is Painkiller and Siberia both were free $400, $500 games at this point. So if they were reprinted, they weren't sold by retailer. They were only sold by third parties, eBay, whatnot, private markets, which to me sets off red flags. Like this, a company going, our games are expensive, let's reprint them and sell them on the sly. Like, what's going on here? So, yeah, we're not accusing anyone of anything. We just are putting out the information and the evidence that we've got. If you do know anything about this, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
we'll bring up Painkiller quickly. So this is the original copy of Painkiller. And then this is the one that popped up recently. As you guys can see, the THQ Nordic has changed in the bottom hand corner. And again, we have confirmed that it is the new case as well.
Yeah, so on that, shout out to Dale Dennis from your group, Figsy, because he's the one that, I believe that's the one, he's the one that posted that. He also sent me an image of the back as well as the spine. So on the initial release of Painkiller, actually, I'm going to go grab it real quick.
Now, this is the original release we're talking about. Again, this game has sold for upwards of $1,000 US. This isn't like a common game that's getting reprinted. This is a very expensive game. So if you are buying this game, you want to be buying the first print, don't you? I certainly, I'd want to know which version I was buying.
So I even took it out of the nice box protector. I got this years and years ago at GameStop. But anyway, like Figs was shown earlier, that's the front. Again, it only has Nordic games. The back, so mine's one of the promo copies, so it has the whole punch through the UPC. But I'm still getting used to the webcam. So anyway, the back is completely different. Or I shouldn't say completely different. The back is somewhat different. So on PS3 games, I was just looking at it. So Persona 5 was the last PS3 game to get printed in the second to last like back font, starting with Cars 3, which released in the US in June of 2017. They changed to this style here, which is dark blue squares on the back instead of light blue squares on the back. And obviously, as you can see, Painkiller here still has, hopefully that's focusing, but Painkiller here, it has the symbols and stuff from the like 2009 or like 2014, 2013 era on the back. The reprint,
if you want to send me a photo of the other one, I'll bring it up on the screen.
Yeah. So let me grab that. I'm going to send you the back and the spine. That way you can just pull it up as well. That'll probably be better. So if
people don't know who Ricky is, guys, Ricky has a complete North American PlayStation 3 set. As well as that, Ricky's actually created a website, which is basically the encyclopedia of PS3 collecting for North America. So if you are a North American collector, I will leave that in the description. So definitely be sure to go check that out. Not just that, Ricky is, I will say, the variant king of PS3.
Mr. Variant over here. Side note on the website, it's a one-man show with me. I'm not too like in depth in like coding and like website building and all that. So it's a work in progress still. Still a lot of work to be done, but the base structure is mostly there.
So here we have the spine. So this is the new Painkiller?
So that's the reprint. We can thank Brad for that one again. Now, the key difference here, I don't know if you can zoom in at all, but
Don't think I can. I'm sorry.
that's fine. So if you look at the normal spine, right?
You can. It's got the one on it. You can see it
Right.
straight away.
You have the painkiller text, which is fine. It has the one is the region, which most games of that era have, and then I don't know if that's focusing, but you have your BLUS number or BECS or whatever it is across the pond over there.
BLUS, I think we are. BLES.
BLES.
BS for Europe makes it.
So that has a 7-digit code, which, again, that only happened around the 2015, 2016 era.
Yeah. That was the codes that Asian games got as well, I believe.
So I think in the PS3, I think actually across all Sony devices, or Sony platforms, they went to the 7-digit code instead of the BLUS here in the US, BECS or whatever it was over there, and then the CUSA on PS4. I think it was around 2015 or 2016 that they did that universally, including on the Vita. But that has the 7-digit code instead of the original BLUS. So it looks like everything on the art has been reprinted. Clearly, the back's redone, the spine's redone. You also have the added THQ Nordic there on the bottom, wherever that is. The only thing that we haven't confirmed, and when I eventually I shouldn't say eventually, it should be in here this week, when I get my copy of Arcania. Yeah, there you go. That's the back. And then I'll just put that.
So it's got the blue squares as we're talking about. So it's completely different.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's interesting about all these factors is this suggests to me that this is not a fake, because no one's going to go out of their way to make a fake different. You wouldn't make it updated with everything else. This suggests to me that this is 100% a reprint from 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, exactly. Will brought up a good point earlier in the day today. It could be the fact that this is a brand new reprint that has not hit the market yet. And these people have it early and they're selling it early, and now they're making a profit on it. Again, not accusing anybody, but that's certainly also a possibility. We just don't have.
The seller is quite reputable.
As far as I know. Yeah. But I mean, I unfortunately, my guy that runs the local shop, he's on vacation this week, and he's the one that does the ordering of the games. So I can't confirm if he's able to order those. Because I mean, he has other reprints of PS3 games in the shop.
So when you say that your local shop's able to order brand new PS3 games.
Yeah. And I've actually I picked one of them up today. It's Red Dead Greatest Hits Game of the Year Edition. And
if you guys want to see an unboxing of this game, be sure to check out the podcast with Ricky. I'll leave a link for that in the description below.
Stay tuned.
So we can confirm if this reprint has the new case, which we believe it does.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly interesting. Now, I don't know, the stack of stuff that you see back there, again, that's, I think, going to be on the podcast. But anyway, real quick, THQ, when they got bought out by Nordic Games initially in 2013, Nordic decided to reprint a total of 9 of the more popular, I guess, THQ games that were released previously. There was a few MX versus ATV games. Red Faction Guerrilla got reprinted, and then a few other random titles here and there. But they got reprinted with brand new artwork, brand new discs, and brand new manuals as well across all 9 releases. I have no idea if these new reprints of the Arcania Complete Tale, Siberia, and Painkiller, I have no idea if those also have new discs. I don't know if they have new manuals. We'll find out when I get my Arcania, hopefully this week. I'm going to do an unboxing on that and see if the disc is different in any way. I'm also going to try to get a copy of Painkiller. Looking online, It has not the disc, but Painkiller itself has a couple of DLCs on the store. Now, what they did in the Far Cry compilation reprint. So Far Cry compilation also got a reprint. Same thing. Dual disc case, no second disc, only a single disc game. Now, what's different for this? The original compilation came with Far Cry Blood Dragon as a download code.
Where this one's on the disc.
Well, it comes with a trial on the disc, but it's not like the full game isn't on the disc. What they did for the reprint is they reprinted the disc, put the full Blood Dragon on the disc, so now there's no need for the download code. However, you can. It's so difficult to tell the difference. I have it up on my website. I don't have like a side-by-side, but it's. Now I forget what's what. All right.
You have to check the site.
So I need to get used to the webcam. So this is the original disc. Make note of the F and the Y on the Far Cry, the shading on that, as well as the Ubisoft logo.
Yeah, you can see it's a little bit darker than the rest of it.
Right. No, I don't know how. Jesus. So on this one, the shading is a little bit lighter on the F and the Y, and the Ubisoft logo is a little bit lighter, if I'm not mistaken.
Very minor, but you can tell. Yeah.
It's like really like tough to tell, and I can't hold the damn thing straight. But the most noticeable thing is the F in Far Cry. That's really the only way to tell, because all the other numbers are identical on the disc. I mean, the BLUS number didn't change. The BPSS, which I think is the disc manufacturing number, I have no idea what it stands for, but it's the same across both releases. There's no different copyright years. There's literally nothing different about the discs other than the shading. That's it. The only difference is when you pop it in the PS3 system and you either get a trial for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon or you get the full Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Now this, I had opened brand new, the reprint. I bought it because my initial copy of the compilation wasn't complete. So I was like, oh, hey, a new copy. It was only like $15 or $20. I'm going to buy it.
You're like, oh, it's not complete as well.
I literally opened it. I'm like, where's my insert? And I forget who brought it up on Facebook. But eventually I was like, oh, well, pop it in the PS3 system. And sure enough, oh, hey, look, it's on disc. That's why there's no insert. So that's another like reprint that came about. I think I've had this for like a year and a half now. So it's been on the market probably, I would say, since 2019, 2020. But I finally opened it and finally did like all the research on that. So time will tell with these releases if anything has been reprinted other than the artwork.
I'll go back to when Class of Heroes 2G was first released. I know that copies were on eBay before they were in retail stores. So,
oh wow,
I remember that because I was at the time searching eBay every day. But they were they were a lot cheaper. They were more expensive than the retail price, but they were like $150. So it's possible that we're going to see retail copies of Painkiller and Siberia in the next weeks or months. If you're in the market for one of these games, don't buy one right now. Yeah, obviously there was a copy of Painkiller, the reprinted version, recently sold on eBay. What was it, $650?
$650, but it was Siberia, and the seller has another one. I actually reached out to that seller today. He had no idea it was a reprint. The seller that he bought it from is the same seller that I bought mine from, and it was never disclosed that it was a reprint. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I don't know.
The seller mightn't know it's a reprint. Like, we're crazy variant collectors. That's why we picked it up.
Exactly. It's like one letter's like off or like missing, and it's like, oh, that's a reprint. That's a misprint. That's a variant or something. Most people aren't going to realize. Most people probably aren't going to care about it unless you're like a diehard collector. But it's just like something that's, I don't know. It's just.
But then when it's the two most expensive games for the system, people probably are going to care. So if you guys care about this issue, let us know in the comments. Leave a like, share this video. Let's get it out there. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ricky, and sharing this news.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see more of Ricky, be sure to check out the PlayStation Collectors podcast.
Stay tuned, guys. Thanks.
See you guys.